This is Science and Technology Current Affairs session, in which we have compiled the current affairs of science and technology from October to December. Is clear? So before starting the session, I just want to make you very clear that how to approach in the current affairs. Is clear? In current affairs, as you know, in the regular lectures, we are discussing a topic. So in the topic, whatever updates that comes, you are supposed to update. And as I have said in regular classes also, updation is with just one source, that is the newspaper. But what to update, what not to, it will be clear to you when you will be going through the regular lectures topic wise. Clear? Because the way prelims question is framed, in the question, in the multiples of the question, there will be basic information, there will be information related to a particular thing, and at the same time the information to be updated. Is clear? So in this session we will be discussing about the topics, and I will be making you very clear that how the questions can be framed. Accordingly, you have to follow the newspaper to update your regular discussion of science and technology. Clear? In this session, as I have said, I have compiled the October to December, the entire topics that have come in science and technology. So first I am giving you the introduction of the topic. Many such topic you also have come with newspaper, but what the thing more important is, the topics to be utilized to update your regular class notes that we have discussed in regular science and technology session. Point number one. And point number two, the most important being is how to work with current updates regarding question. The most important objective of yours is, if some information have come in the current information, how this information can be asked in a prelims question, and what sort of writing you are supposed to place in your mains answer. Is clear? So first I am introducing you the topics. You all have come through a recent mission launched by ISRO, that is SpaceX mission, Space Docking Experiment mission. Second, we have discussed in our regular lectures that there are many such observatories launched in space. Observatories, as you know, objective is to study the universe, and we have discussed that one of the so far world's most advanced observatory launched by NASA is James Webb Space Telescope. Recently, a very important finding regarding expansion of universe theory have made very clear by James Webb Space Telescope finding. Is clear? So we will be discussing the same now. One of the mission, Proba 3 satellite mission launched by ISRO, that we will see now. Recently, one of orbiter mission, as India have completed one orbiter mission to Mars orbiter mission. On the similar lines, recently it is approved to now have next orbiter mission to the planet Venus. So it's called as Sukrayan Venus orbiter mission is approved. Work have started regarding the same. There have come a important information. Next is one of important communication satellite is recently launched. Next, one of the remarkable development, world's first wooden satellite launched by Japan is very remarkable development, as we have also discussed in our regular lectures, that how space debris is becoming concerned. In such case, wooden satellite will be very useful to work toward the same. That we'll see in the detail. Now next is, in a first analog space mission was established in Leh, Ladakh, is one of the very important development and is also important for exam. Now next is, we have discussed in our regular lectures about Aditya L1 mission, is a mission launched in halo orbit L1 by ISRO to study the sun. Clear? Almost 1 year is going to complete. By 6 January 24, the mission reached to L1 orbit. Almost in 1 year, the first science result, one of the scientific instrument of Aditya L1 have given, that is VELC. So you can understand, I am with this I'm just giving you again the idea what I said at very first, that you are supposed to update in your class notes about what the finding that have come regarding Aditya L1 mission. It's clear, because it's the first science result, so also very important. Now next, we have discussed that how with 2019 Union Budget Declaration, Government of India have started diversification in Indian space program. Regarding the same, several moves is being taken. On the similar lines, Union Cabinet recently approved 1000 crore venture capital fund for space sector. This is a very important move regarding diversification, commercialization, privatization that is newly introduced to Indian space program. Clear? This writing is much more important than prelims in your mains, in the questions related to diversification of Indian space program. Now, next is, in one of the important development in the, as you know, in a disaster recently happened in Wayanad, Kerala. So, in that area, X-band radar is now installed. So, it's very important information. Now, LUPEX. Some of you might come through with the news that recently Government of India have approved the successor mission of Chandrayaan 3, that is Chandrayaan 4. Clear? On the similar lines, now one of the lunar mission is again approved recently, that is LUPEX. Is clear? Now next is, we have discussed in defense technology about defense system. Regarding the defense system, as some of the defense system like S-400, S-500 of Russia happen to be very advanced. Now in countering of the same, recently USA have developed Dark Eagle anti-missile system. As claimed by USA, it's so far the world's most advanced air defense system. Is clear? So as world's most advanced in recent news, so is also expected in coming prelims. Now next is, we have discussed about SLBMs, submarine launched ballistic missiles. Clear? So recently from INS Arighat, which is the second submarine naval ship powered by nuclear that is developed by India, with this K4 SLBM test recently happened. Is clear? Next is, one of the air defense system, Pansir, again was news that we will see. Next, as I have said in regular lectures in defense technology, that any such INS that happens to be in news is very much important for prelims. Likewise, INS Samarthak was in the news, so have to be just updated now. Regarding Nobel Prizes, all Nobel Prizes happens to be important, but 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry is very much important as is related to protein research, and at the same time this research is related to one of the development of AI tool, that is AlphaFold. So this research is having significance both for biotechnology in terms of protein research, and at the same time is having significance for AI. Now next is, in tackling of AMR, that is antimicrobial resistance, recently a indigenous antibiotic nephromycin was developed, is very much important, that we will be discussing. And the last one is human genome therapy for hemophilia is successfully worked out. Is clear? So these are the important information that have come in the recent news since October to December. Likewise, in another session, we will be coming out with another compilation of current. Is clear? So now, one by one, we will have the discussion. See, SPADEX mission. First, I am explaining to you in a very simple what the mission is all about. See, as you know, in a space mission is launched to study. Clear? In this study, there are many such ways, for example, orbiter, lander, and there are ways to study the space also by observatory. Now, the study of landing, at present, we are mainly sending the rovers robotic spacecraft with lander under the landing mission. Now, we are working out to send human being to space. Such experiment will have much more appropriate study, much more appropriate data. So following human space experiments, we need various technologies, because you know, when a human being have to be sent, they must return also, clear? So various technologies are very much significant for human space experiment, clear? For example, one technology that is called as CARE, C-A-R-E. This is Crew Atmospheric Re-entry Experiment. This is a capsule where human being goes to space and performs their re-entry, clear? You know, we are working with human space mission Gaganyaan, that is India's first human space mission that is planned to be launched. In this space mission, we are working to make it more indigenous. Regarding the same, we need various technologies in human space mission. One such technology, very much significance, is docking experiment, so called as SpaceX mission. In docking experiment, in very simple, is a mission, you can see from the diagram also, is a mission where we launch a spacecraft. In going to space, the spacecraft is made to be separated. Very simple, docking. There are two spacecraft attached, going to space, both will get separated, clear? Point number one. In separation, what will be the objective? After separation, it can be performed in the form of landing, clear? Now just take a case. There are two spacecraft which get separated, clear? After separation, point number one, it will perform the landing mission. Point number two, after separation, both the spacecraft must be powered, then only both will move. So just think of it. There are two spacecraft joined and you launch this spacecraft in space. Point number one. Point number two, your objective is to make this two spacecraft launch in space, and after launching to make it separate, clear? But in separation, you need to provide electric power to both, then only both will work out. So point number one, what to be performed in this experiment mission? First, separation, that is docking, clear? And second, after separation, how the second one that gets separated will work? This must be providing electric power, then only it will work, clear? So very simple, try to memorize in just two concepts. First, in docking experiment, we have performed experiment to separate two spacecraft, clear? And point number two, after separation, transfer of electric power so that both will have its work. Is clear? So now you can go through this. See, ISRO have launched this space docking experiment, clear? In two words, try to memorize. One is separation and second is transfer. Transfer of what? Electric power. Is clear? Now, in addition to this, there is a technology that is also tested, and this technology is already tested by ISRO. We have discussed about this technology in our regular lectures. This technology is called as POEM, PSLV Orbital Experimental Module. So in a very simple, as you know, PSLV is a 4-stage launch vehicle, clear? In one of the new experiment, we have performed that the last stage, 4th stage of PSLV, after performing its mission, it is to be established in the orbit itself, point number one, and after establishing, what it will perform? It will perform the experiment. How it will perform the experiment? So the 4th stage will be performing experiment by guidance from navigation system. So very simple. So POEM is already tested technology, and this technology is also incorporated in SpaceX, clear? So three things I have said. First, in docking experiment, what is our objective? Separation. And second, to transfer the electric power. Docking experiment over. In the same experiment, we have performed SpaceX along with 24 POEM, PSLV Orbital Experimental Module payloads was launched by PSLV C60. So the point is clear. So in this experiment, we have performed docking. Along with docking, already performed poem is also launched with its payloads. Is clear? Now, next is the important information like URSC, as we have discussed in regular lectures, that URSC is the satellite center of ISRO. So this center have developed this experimental module. Now, rest all thing is launched in LEO in circular orbit with an inclination of 55 degree. Now, read this line, the same thing what I have explained. Mission objective, clear? Just in 2 words you are supposed to know, that is to develop and demonstrate the technology needed for docking and undocking of 2 small spacecraft. Simple, separation in 1 word. Now, there are some names given about the instrument like chaser and target. Chaser and target is just the name. Now, next is transfer of electric power between docked spacecraft, which is separated, and composite spacecraft. Then only both will work. Is clear? Now, significance of the mission. See, now coming to the question, how this can be asked in question. Now, we have discussed in regular lectures regarding many such questions that what the approach of UPSC in asking the prelims question. Clear? Many times without taking the name they used to ask such concept. Clear? So this question can be asked along with many concepts. For example, take the significance. Significance is self-reliance. India aims to become 4th nation to achieve space docking technology. You can understand? Such technology which is very much critical, such technology which is just in the hands of few countries, US, Russia and China. By performing such technology, India can have its space objectives. In its diversified objectives also, India will become self-reliance, more commercialization is expected. So on similar lines, this is the significance. Technically speaking, I started with human space flight experiment. You can understand, in human space flight experiment, this separation of spacecrafts are very much significant. Is clear? So, this can be asked in this way. Like say, consider the following experiment. Clear? They can ask you conceptually, because when you will go through with UPSC prelims question, you will find that rarely they used to ask about some instrument name like chaser, target and all. That's what I have very much specified about the requirement in this. Clear? So just take a case. SpaceX mission came in news. Now coming to your approach of current affairs. Clear? You have gone through the entire newspaper article. While going through the entire newspaper article, your objective is just 2 points. First point, you need to know what the experiment objective is. Clear? And second point, how the question can be asked. So you can understand what the objective here is: separation and transfer of power. Clear? Second, how it will be helpful, as we have discussed that India is planning to have its own Bharatiya Antariksh Station. India is working on human space mission. So such docking will help India in future space mission. Clear? So just take a case. If it will be asked in prelims, first very simple, about what is docking. Clear? Without taking the name of experiment, it will be asked like this. Recently, ISRO performed, understand this statement, recently ISRO performed successfully the separation of 2 spacecraft in space. You can understand, in this statement, nowhere SpaceX is written. Clear? Nowhere docking word is written. So you can understand, with this, now you have to think on the statement that really what the line is talking about. So the line is talking about this mission. Clear? Point number 1. Point number 2. Take the second statement. The mission is significant for India's future Bharatiya Antariksh Station. Understand this thing. When you read this line, you will find that this thing is not written somewhere. Clear? But you can understand. Such docking means what? Whenever we will work towards human space mission, whenever we will work toward establishment of some station, you can understand this type of experiment is very much significant. Is clear? So your approach to newspaper is on two lines. Clear? For example, just take a case. What would be your approach? That if this news came in newspaper and you have gone through the newspaper, only requirement of yours regarding UPSC prelims is you are supposed just to take 2 lines from the newspaper and update in your notes. Clear? While you will do in this way, you will have your reading in this way in the newspaper, you will also memorize the thing in your mind. Is clear? Otherwise what will happen? You will simply start making the notes. You can understand? Your notes will be updated. You will make the notes from the newspaper, but the thing must not be in your mind. Clear? And one thing I always say in the regular lectures of science and technology, that is UPSC question when it will go through, without taking the names, they mainly focuses on the concept. Is clear? So the point is clear. SPADEX is what? What is the objective? What is its significance? And how it can be asked in UPSC prelims question. Is clear? Now, moving to the next. These all experiments are already performed because in 1998, with the joint collaboration of USA and Russia, they launched International Space Station in LEO. Clear? On the similar lines, China have also launched a space station. Second point. And as we have become much more advanced, we are also working for the development of many advanced technologies. We have succeeded also. Clear? So India also is working to have its own Bharatiya Antariksha station. Is clear? So just think of it. What I said just in one line. Anywhere when we will work towards establishment of some station, sending human being, such docking is very much significant. Is clear? Okay. Separation. Clear? Separation. There are 2 spacecraft, both get separated. After separating, both must be provided the power, then only both will work out. Clear? So docking and undocking. Is clear? After undocking, what will happen? Something after separation made landed. After landing, say for example 4-5 days landing, objective is complete, after which it will come out, undocking, it will return. Is clear? Okay. Now, the next one is the most important regarding exam is James Webb Space Telescope finding. So, before coming to its finding, I am explaining to you about the same we have already discussed in our regular lectures regarding observatory mission. Observatory missions are also called as telescope. Such missions are launched in space to perform studies related to universe. Clear? Now, we have discussed at a great length that such mission are mainly launched, point number 1, in LEO. Clear? So such mission are mainly launched in LEO. But we have discussed in our regular lectures that now a new step in this regard taken by NASA. And NASA started working to access more and more such orbit. While accessing the same, NASA launched a mission on 25th December 2021 in the orbit of L2. Point number 1, to perform infrared astronomy. That is very simple, to study in infrared region the universe from L2 orbit. Clear? Now, since the launch 2021, as once this question was already asked in UPSC mains. Clear? Very much expected in prelims in various ways. So first I am explaining to you, by 21 the mission was launched. From 21 to till date, several of the important finding is revealed from the mission. For example, recalling you in the regular lectures, In our regular lecture, we have discussed that how James Webb Space Telescope have worked out to find cosmic cliff, dancing galaxies, globular cluster, which I have even marked as important. Globular cluster is also founded by our observatory, that is AstroSat, that is already working in space. Is clear? So, since 21 till date, there are so many findings that have come in the newspaper, which we have discussed in our regular lectures. Clear? Following the same, recently in one of the important finding, this telescope confirms about a theory that universe is expanding at an unexpected rate. Now, coming to physics. In our physics, there is a law called Hubble's law, that is also called as Hubble constant, according to which, that is according to a theory in physics, our universe is expanding. Clear? But you can understand, such type of theories will be much more clear when we will perform experiment. In this regard, our science and technology is getting success. Going through the success, this telescope have presented an important result, that universe is expanding at an unexpected rate. Now first I am explaining to you what the physics concept regarding universe expansion. According to Hubble's law, universe is expanding. You can go through with this, that 6768 kilometer per second per megaparsec. Is clear? This is according to Hubble's law. Point number one. Point number two, according to telescope observation, because you know we have launched many such telescopes to observe the universe. What the telescope says, see, telescope observation gives a higher value. This is the theory in physics, Hubble's law. Telescope observations say some higher value, that not 67, 68, 70 to 76 kilometer. Is clear? So point number one, according to Hubble's law, 67, 68 kilometer. According to telescope, 70 to 76 kilometer. Clear? The discrepancy in between two, the differences in between two is known by a term called Hubble tension. Clear? So what is Hubble tension? This discrepancy between the telescope observed expansion rate and the Hubble constant is called Hubble tension. Is clear? Now, so first point is clear to you, that this finding, again they will ask you with very basic information. As I have said, in a prelims multiple, it is not the case that there came a current information and simply UPSC have taken the current information and presented to you. Clear? They used to link with various basic concept. So, as this finding is related to universe expansion. Clear? So, they can ask you in this way. So, now coming to the question, they can ask you that recently one of the world's most advanced observatory presented that universe is expanding. Point is clear? Now you have to think in the question paper that they are talking about this current information that I have read in the newspaper. Clear? Point number two, they can ask you about the basic information. They can check your basic, that what is Hubble constant, what is Hubble tension. Is clear? So this can be asked in this way in prelims. Clear? So the point is clear. What is James Webb Space Telescope? Is world's most advanced observatory launched by NASA in the orbit of L2 to perform infrared astronomy to study the universe. Clear? This have revealed many findings which you already have listed down. Now recently what the new finding, this telescope confirms that universe is expanding at an unexpected rate. Is clear? And we have discussed that how this can be asked in prelims. So the point is clear. Now moving to the next information. ISRO launches European Space Agency Proba 3 satellite. Is clear? This information is also important, but as I have said that regarding the question, this is not to be taken that what we have discussed or what comes in current simply they will ask. Clear? This is not the way prelims question are framed, as I have said many times. Is clear? So 2-point approach of yours while dealing with current affairs in the newspaper. First approach, according to a regular concept, you have to read the entire article and have to decide that which all points that can be asked. Clear? And point number 2, how the question can be framed. Clear? So, coming to this mission is a dedicated commercial mission of NSIL. Coming to this word. Now, we have discussed in our regular lectures in space technology that recently Government of India have started diversification, under which commercialization, privatization have started in space program. Going through the same to execute commercialization, in 2019, Government of India announced in the Union Budget. After the announcement, the NSIL, a new commercial organization under ISRO was established. Clear? So, what the important thing here is, this is a commercial mission of NSIL, that is New Space India Limited, which is the new commercial agency under ISRO. Now, what is Proba 3 mission? Is an in-orbit demonstration mission. Clear? What the objective of this mission is? In it, two satellites will fly together, maintaining a fixed configuration. Clear? Focus of formation flying is to maintain a targeted orbit configuration. Is clear? Consists of this scientific instrument. So, this mission is to observe Sun's corona through an innovative satellite formation flight. So, very simple. Proba 3 mission, point number 1, while going through the newspaper, what points you are supposed to note? Clear? Point number 1, what is the objective of this mission? To study Sun's corona. Simple. Point number 2, what the technique is followed, that is IOD, in orbit demonstration. Clear? Point number 3, that this mission is a commercial mission of NSIL. Is clear? So, this mission, regarding this news in newspaper, you are expected to just write 3 lines. First line, what is the objective? To study Sun's corona. What the new technique is followed? In orbit demonstration, in which innovative satellite formation flight, in which 2 satellites will fly together maintaining a fixed configuration. Clear? While doing so, what it will do? It will observe the Sun's corona. Over objective. Second, this launch is made by ISRO. What the relevance, what the significance of this launch? That this is one of the commercial launch of ISRO made by NSIL. Is clear? Now, coming to next information. Sukrayan, Venus Orbiter Mission. Now, this information have come in the newspaper, as is approved that India will launch a next orbiter mission to orbit, as an orbiter mission to Venus, known as Sukrayan. Now, first understand one thing. Technically speaking, what is orbiter mission? That we have discussed in our regular lectures. Clear? Now, you know there are various scientific instruments that are launched and placed in the orbit where you want to study. If you want to study moon, have to launch in the orbit of moon. If you want to study Mars, have to launch in the orbit of Mars. We have discussed that India first performed its orbiter mission to planet Mars, known as Mangalyaan. Clear? In year 2013, that was successfully placed in the orbit of Mars by 24 September 2014. Clear? By which we have discussed that what a great significance, what a great achievement India have made, becoming the first country to reach to Mars orbit in a very first attempt. So you can understand, our first orbiter mission met with a great success, following which now we have planned to study the next planet, Venus. Clear? Now in this study, first you need to know two things. First, what this mission is. Clear? So it's an orbiter mission. Second, what the mission orbiter objective is. Two objectives. First, you know, is to study. Clear? Second is to study its interaction with sun. Clear? So two important point. First, what the objective of the mission? Have to study the planet. Second, it's the planet interaction with sun. Is clear? So 2 point very much important. Rest all the theoretical information, that is set to launch by 2028. Is clear? What is the key objective? Key objective you can understand. There will be the scientific instrument that will be studying the atmosphere, mapping its surface, topography, studying the solar spectrum and all. Is clear? Now, regarding exam, you are supposed to know regarding this. First, it can be asked in basic, as they can ask you what is orbiter mission. They can link in order to even confuse you that India's second orbiter mission which is planned. First is Mangalyaan. Clear? Now, in this information released, there is a technique that is talked about. This technique is aero braking. Is clear? Now, recall what I have said, that when you go through with the newspaper, you have to follow that which all information can be asked in your exam. So there is a technique that is discussed, that is aero braking. Now, what is this technique? It uses the planet's atmosphere to slow down a spacecraft and adjust its orbit. So, in this orbiter mission, we have planned a technique that is using the atmosphere of the planet to slow down the spacecraft and adjust its orbit. Is clear? So it can be asked that aero braking is the technology that is expected to be performed in India's new landing mission. Wrong. In India's new orbiter mission. Is clear? So in this way, the statement of prelims question must be followed in such a manner that you have to go through with the statement and have to think on it. Because in the running eyes, what will happen? When you read the statement in that 2 hour, you will come to know that it's orbiter mission or lander mission. Clear? But after which, when you will go through, you will find that I have wrongly make it correct. Is not the lander mission, is the orbiter mission. Next is, there are some important information related to this is that in the past, which all countries have launched mission to this planet. Clear? So in 1962, USA launched a mission to this planet is Mariner 2. Is clear? Likewise, ESA launched Venus Express, NASA again launched Magellan, and Japan launched Akatsuki. Is clear? So you can understand 3 important information that is expected that can be asked in prelims question from this. Clear? First important information is India's second orbiter mission with its objective to study about the planet and at the same time the planet interaction with sun. Clear? Point number 2, in this next important information for prelims is aero braking technique is to be performed. And the last one, you are supposed to know that other such missions which is already launched to this planet. Is clear? So again I am repeating this thing. While you updates your current information from newspaper, have to be very clear. You can understand. Just take a case. To any such important information regarding the topic, how specific I am regarding the prelims. I am not suggesting you to go through with the detail of scientific instrument. I am not suggesting you to go through with various details, clear? So you have to follow that which all thing not to study, which all thing to be studied, that can find the place in your prelims question. Is clear? So very simple about this mission. What all thing expected in prelims? First, India's second orbiter mission. Second, what is the orbiter mission? Third, what is its objective? And fourth, a new technique is performed. And the last one, at maximum, they can name some of the mission that already such missions are launched. Is clear? Now, next is GSAT N2 satellite. Now, recall in the regular lectures we have discussed that India's most advanced launch vehicle is GSLV. Clear? And you know the GSLV payload that is the most advanced in India is Mark III, which is having the payload of approximately 4 ton. That is, more than 4 ton of satellite launch we are not performing with our GSLV. So more than such launches we are mainly performing with the foreign launch vehicles. Clear? So in any of the satellite launches which happens to be more than 4 ton, we are launching with foreign launch vehicle. So first point, likewise GSAT N2 is a satellite more than 4 ton. Clear? So our capacity is not the same. So first point is we have launched this from SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Is clear? Now you can understand this question a little bit important for prelims. It can be asked to you in another way that GSAT N2 is launched by foreign launch vehicle as our capacity of GSLV Mk3 is of 4 ton. Information is correct? So you can understand. Always have in mind one thing, that regarding the prelims question, the multiples are designed not to test your factual information but to test your analytical understanding. That while reading the multiples of prelims question, you have to think what this line means. Is clear? So first point is clear to you, that is a communication satellite, as you know GSAT is launched by this rocket. Now what is the objective? Second, see, is a communication satellite of NSIL. Again recall NSIL. NSIL is the second commercial organization under ISRO, established by 2019. Third, see, what is the objective? The most important thing, it will enhance broadband services and in-flight connectivity across the Indian region. Is clear? So very simple. What is the objective of this satellite? Enhancement of broadband services. Simple. Now, it offers pan-India coverage including Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands. Now, a very important information that you can understand is very advanced satellite having payload even more than 4 ton. Clear? And this just one satellite have to cover the entire India, also Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands. For what? To enhance our broadband connectivity and in-flight connectivity. Is clear? So now, regarding this information from the newspaper, you have just to update 2 things. Now, one thing I am suggesting you, that like our discussion is going on, you can develop one skill that if we'll go by conceptual clarity, you can also develop the skills to memorize. Just take a case, GSAT N2, just to memorize in 2 words, newspaper work over. Clear? Say the day this newspaper information have come. Clear? You are just supposed to memorize 2 things. First, GSAT N2 is a GSAT is communication satellite. Clear? Objective, enhance broadband and in-flight connectivity entire India plus islands. Over. And second, as payload is more than 4 ton, So not launched by our GSLV Mk3, launched by SpaceX Falcon rocket. Over. Is clear? So if we'll develop this skill to work with the newspaper while updating your notes, very simple, you will develop a means not only to update but also to memorize. Is clear? Now, coming to the next information. Now, world's first wooden satellite launch. Now, understand this thing. You know, satellites are electronic devices, and you know electronic devices are mainly made up of metal. Now, we have discussed in our regular lectures that how space debris is becoming concerned. Clear? Many such satellite we launches, and when a new technology comes, we stop the using of satellite. Such satellites in the orbit are termed as junk orbit, disposal orbit, graveyard orbit. We have discussed in our regular lectures that to tackle space debris, Project Netra of ISRO, China's initiative of a robotic system. Clear? Now, in such move, research is going on that how to work to tackle this case. Clear? Because satellite in orbit, in simple words, what does this mean? Several electronics in orbit. And what is electronics? Just take a case of your mobile phone made up of metal having semiconductor chips. Clear? What does this mean? That I can say several e-waste is getting collected. Clear? Becoming a serious concern. So in one of the research, Japan performed a new wooden satellite launch. In this now, first in a very simple, what the advantage of this launch can be. Point number one, just think of it. If it is a wooden satellite, clear? After you will decommission, just take a case. If a satellite is launched, as you know, a new technology comes, you used to stop the access of the satellite signals and you launch a new satellite. But just take a case. A satellite is launched and its work is over. No issue. Wood. Clear? No issue in terms of destruction also. Clear? So what the thing more important is, see, you are supposed to know some factual information. What is the name of satellite? For example, Lignosat. Lignosat is the name of the satellite. Clear? Now, you can write also. So, Lignosat is world's first wooden satellite launched by Japan. Point number one. Point number two, a little bit important information is which type of wood this satellite is made of. So, see, is a small palm sized satellite made from, write this word, Honoki, Honoki wood, Honoki, a type of magnolia tree. Write this line, Honoki wood, a type of magnolia, Magnolia tree, which is native to Japan. Magnolia tree which is native to Japan. Is clear? So, first, what the factual information is? Name of the satellite made from one tree, and this tree is mainly found in Japan. Now, this factual information and is world's first wooden satellite. Now, coming to prelims question, how this question can be asked. Clear? So, just take a case. Those who are preparing well, at least they know that there was something wooden satellite launched. Clear? But just take a case. If I am framing this prelims multiple in this way, that Lignosat is a recent launched satellite significant for tackling space debris. Understand this line. First, in this line, just think of it. How many information I have tried to test. This is the approach of UPSC experts. That is, first, When you read LignoSat, you will start thinking that while in 1 to 2 years of my preparation, I have gone with many satellite in the newspaper, clear? So you will strike it that okay, LignoSat is wooden satellite. Then you will think, then wooden satellite, how it's significant? Most important concern is space debris. Is clear? So always have in mind one thing. Prelims questions, such words are missing. Wooden satellite launched by Japan, because they know, even those who are reading one-liner information also knows in current affairs that wooden satellite launched by Japan. Clear? But UPSC prelims question are specially designed to test your analytical aptitude. So it will be written in this way. So the point is clear. Now, just read the last line, which is very much important. See, wood can better withstand space conditions than metal. Clear? As there is no water or oxygen to cause decay. This is also one of the advantage, that is, along with tackling the issues of space debris, one of the advantage is also that as there is no presence of oxygen or water, so there will be no decay to wood. Clear? Now, next, what the thing already I have explained, when decommissioned, just take a case, a satellite is launched after 10 years, now a new technology comes. So when decommissioned, the satellite will be decommissioned, wooden satellite burned up without releasing harmful pollutants, unlike metal ones. You know, when a metal will burn, it will release many pollutants, but just think of it, when a wood will burn, no such harmful components will be released. Clear? So it can again be asked in this way, that LignoSat type satellite, when stopped working, will not pose harmful effects. Correct? Clear? So in this statement you have again to think that what the question they are asking about is clear. Now, so regarding this information, again I am making it very clear to you. Regarding this, how many points you are supposed to know? First, name of satellite, made from the tree found in Japan, launched by Japan. One information. Second information, why this move, what the significance of this research. So space debris is the main concern. Clear? Now, next is very important information regarding prelims. India's first analog space mission. Now, before this, first understand what is analog space mission. Now, just take a case. When we perform human space mission to space, as you know, human space mission are very challenging one, because in human space mission, human being have to make the landing in space, say on moon, say on Mars, likewise. Now, when we perform such experiment and when we started working for such human space mission, there are many such challenges. Just take a case, talking about moon. When it comes to perform a human space mission, talking about moon, you know, there are so many challenges. Point number one, there are so many issues related to how human being will work, will perform their scientific objective after launching to space. So, first understand what the analog space mission is. We perform the experiments on land, on earth, in the condition of extremities that is very similar to space. Very simple. So just take a case. On moon, if a mission will be launched, if human being will land, what all issues they will face, we practically work out in this on earth at a very high altitude. Clear? So, very simple. What is analog space mission? Space-like extremities is performed on Earth. Clear? Now, so as a space like environment is to be considered, so the place is selected is Leh Ladakh. Clear? Now, so India's first analog space mission, read this line, ISRO has launched India's first analog space mission in Leh Ladakh. What the objective? To plan lunar mission experiments. Simple, clear? That is, on moon, what sort of extremities of temperature, what sort of extremities in environmental condition, what all will be there, we will be performing on Earth, and after performing, accordingly we will plan our human space mission on moon. Recall what I have discussed in the very start of the topic, that Government of India have also approved a new space mission Chandrayaan 4, and in the Chandrayaan 4 the objective is that Chandrayaan 4 will launch human being to space, and Chandrayaan 4 will take the samples from space to Earth. Clear? So in all such cases, this type of mission works in various extremities. We read, we understand about various conditions, and accordingly we plan our space mission. Is clear? So this mission, now important information is, this is being developed jointly by ISRO's Human Space Flight Center, Akka Space Studio, University of Ladakh and IIT Bombay. Is clear? Now, so this is the exact definition what I have just now explained. Analog space missions are field test done, clear, in locations that have physical similarities to that of extreme space environment. That is why Leh Ladakh is chosen at a high altitude, and lunar moon-like condition is there. So we have performed this experiment. Now, important information you are supposed to know, that such analog mission launched by NASA and UAE are this, and such mission happens to be very important regarding launching of human space missions to moon. So accordingly, you are supposed to know, you can write down the name, that NEEMO is the mission launched by NASA, is the analog mission, and SIRIUS program launched by UAE is the analog space mission of UAE. Is clear? Okay. So what is analog space mission is clear to you. Point number 1. Second point, there are some space missions already launched on this lines. Clear? Now, Aditya L1 mission reported its first science result. Now understand, Aditya L1 is India's first solar observatory launched in the orbit of L1. First I am explaining to you about this mission, which we have already completed in our regular lectures of science and technology session. Now, Aditya L1 consists of 7 scientific instruments. Clear? While placing in the orbit of L1, 7 scientific instruments have to perform the scientific objective. Clear? Now, the mission was launched by 2nd September 23 and almost 126 days trajectory. The mission completed its halo orbit. Clear? And finally by 6 January 24, the mission reached to halo orbit, that is L1 orbit. Now, mission was having 7 scientific instruments. 4 scientific instrument objective was to perform remote sensing of sun. Clear? And 3 to perform in situ observation. Clear? While performing remote sensing of sun, there are 4 scientific instruments: VELC, visible emission line coronagraph, Clear? Then solar low energy experiment. Third, high energy L1 orbiting spectrometer. And fourth, solar ultraviolet imaging telescope. Is clear? Now understand. Since 6 January 24, almost a year, all 7 scientific instruments started working. Working means ISRO's center started receiving data from all scientific instruments. Almost in a year, we have studied the data and we have reported the first science result. Is clear? What the first science result is? Now, before coming to this result, I am referring to one concept we have already discussed in Chandrayaan-2 orbiter finding, that is known as CME, coronal mass ejection. This is a finding already made by Chandrayaan-2 orbiter. On this finding, already a prelims question is asked. Clear? So first I am explaining to you what is CME. Is coronal means sun's corona, mass means ionized material, magnetic field that comes from sun's corona. Is clear? Now, Chandrayaan-2 orbiter have found that CME is an event that is happening. Point number 1. Point number 2. Then we studied that what the impact of this event. So we have come to know that such particles and magnetic field are something like enveloping the earth. A enveloped like thing is getting generated on earth. So just think of it. In and around earth, if there will be an envelope like thing made up of ionized material, magnetic field, then what will happen? The signals coming from space to earth will not reach. I can say entire our space technology will come at the challenge. So this is a finding, very serious concern reported by Chandrayaan-2 orbiter. Is clear? Now, similar finding VELC of Aditya L1 have revealed that its onset time. So see, VELC of Aditya L1 precisely estimated the onset time of CME that erupted on the sun. Is clear? Now, just 2-point information. What? Precisely estimated the onset time of CME. Is clear? Now, same thing what I have explained. What CME can do? CME can damage satellites in near Earth space and disrupt radio communication network on Earth. Is clear? Now understand. This question is very much important and can be framed in this way. So, if coronal mass ejection, if is to be asked, as I have said, is already a prelims question is asked from Chandrayaan-2 orbiter finding. So, just take a case. I am just giving you a statement how it can be framed, that a event that can damage satellites or can affect radio communication. Is clear? A event that can generate, say, that can generate such envelope like thing, that can damage satellites, that can affect the radio communication. Is clear? Such event onset time is recognized by one of India's observatory, also by one orbiter. Understand this line. In this statement, I have not said Aditya L1, I have not said Chandrayaan-2 orbiter. Is clear? So, in this statement, you can understand how many concept is asked from you. Is clear? The first concept being is you are supposed to know that which event they are talking about. Second, which observatory of India they are talking about, and third, which orbiter of India they are talking about. Is clear? Now, so the point is clear to you. This is the first science result you need to update to your class notes. Is clear? Now, next is Union Cabinet approves establishment of 1000 crore venture capital fund. Now understand, this information is much more important than prelims in mains answer writing related to diversification or commercialization of Indian space program. So, first understand that what is venture capital fund? That is a equity by which a high growth potential startup is given a fund, clear, by which they utilize the fund and they work for the, say if it is for a space sector, they work for this sector, and this helps on various lines. This helps in boost to our economy, this help to boost our manufacturing sector, this help to boost our space sector, to boost space economy, and in the long run to work to the address of the challenges related to unemployment. Because just think of it, if there will be so many startups and startups will provide employment, so it is in the long run it will also address such issue. Clear? So in this information you have just to update what you have written while I was explaining the diversification in the regular lectures, that in this development, a new development, that is 1000 crore venture capital fund is approved by Union Cabinet. Clear? Now, how this move is significant? We have discussed that many such diversification, commercialization, privatization in the long run will boost Indian space economy. Clear? At present, if we will talk about India's space economy, as you know, Indian space program started with various socio-economic development objectives. Going by the same, we worked in addressing the challenges of socio-economic development, but when we become advanced, when our achievement became so critical, so important, so we started working to start commercialization, privatization. On the similar lines of working, at present we have reached somewhere around 2 to 3% of global space economy. So you can understand such moves of government, new policies of government to space, new initiatives of government in establishment of organization like NSIL, commercial launches. Now we are working to increase our percentage from 2-3 to in the coming days to even 10%, with the objective, just you can go through with this, creating a vibrant innovation ecosystem and boost global competitiveness. India's space sector at present ranks 5th, constitutes 2-3% of global space economy, which is currently valued at $8.4 billion, and our target is that by 2033 to reach to $44 billion. You can understand, with such great objective, if we will work in the long run, our space technology achievements will also work to address our economic challenges. Clear? So in the long run, Government of India is working for the same. Now, X-band radar. This information is just important for one line. That is, as you know, recently there happened the disaster in Wayanad. So, in Wayanad district, following a devastating floods and landslide, now a new initiative is taken and Union Ministry of Earth Sciences approved installation of X-band radar. Clear? Now, first basic information, you know what is the radar system? Radio, detection and range. Clear? So, very simple. In the X band, this radar system is launched. Clear? So you can go through with the definition of radar. Radar uses radio waves to determine the distance, velocity and physical characteristic of objects. Clear? Now, definition of X-band. X-band radar emits radiation in X-band 8 to 12 gigahertz of electromagnetic spectrum corresponds to a smaller wavelength of around 2 to 4 centimeter. Is clear? So you can write the definition of X-band radar. X-band radar emits radiation in X-band 8 to 12 gigahertz of electromagnetic spectrum corresponding to a smaller wavelength of around 2-4 centimeter. Is clear? So it's just one line information. It can be asked in this way: what the benefits? Monitor movement of particles, soil in form of landslide warning and all. Is clear? So is important. Now, LUPEX. A very important information regarding this, and there are various ways this can be framed in question. Clear? So, is lunar polar exploration mission. Clear? Now, recently National Space Panel clears the 5th. As you know, so far we have completed 3: Chandrayaan 1, Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3. Recently Government of India, as I have said, have approved Chandrayaan 4. Clear? I have said that what will be the main objectives of Chandrayaan 4? 2 point. First, to send human mission to moon, and second, to take samples from moon. Clear? So after Chandrayaan 4, this will be the 5th lunar mission. Now, this line, LUPEX will be a precursor to the country's lunar sample return mission and for sending the first Indian to the moon by 2040. Is clear? So with a great objective, this mission is worked out. Now, some important information. ISRO work is to design the rover. Clear? In the mission, in this landing mission, Japan agency, space agency work for lander, and there will be several instruments taken from NASA and ESA on the rover. Is clear? So you can understand, LUPEX is Indian space mission, but in this mission will be taking the lander from Japan space agency, some observation instruments from NASA and ESA. Is clear? Now, important thing about this lunar polar mission is the same location is chosen. That is, landing point will be the same, south pole of the moon, and this area is believed to have a high water potential. Is clear? So this mission is going to launch to the same south pole, by which India have become the first country to reach in south pole. Is clear? So the same thing, and this is written about already. We have discussed about Chandrayaan 3. Now the next one, in defense technology, we have discussed about defense system. Now, first, in very simple, what is defense system? Is a system to counter the missile attacks from someone. Point number 1, very simple. Point number 2, while doing so, what happens? Protection, defending, not to wage war, but while doing so, defending. Clear? Now, first talking about India. India is having its advanced system called BMD, Ballistic Missile Defense System, which is of 2 tier. Clear? In one, it is PAD, Prithvi Air Defense, and second, Advanced Air Defense. Clear? But we have seen that coming of UAV, how made challenges to air defense system. Coming of UAV, various types of new aerial vehicles, various type of spacecraft, various type of missiles, now posing a serious challenge to air defense system. So, as we are already having our BMD system, as claimed by Russia, S-400, that in 400 kilometer range as claimed by the company, it can destroy any airborne threats. So like many countries, India also inked a deal and have received S-400. Now, recently USA came out with a remarkable development, and what they have claimed that Dark Eagle anti-missile system as a air defense system will be the world's most advanced. Clear? You are supposed to know two important things. First is LRHW, long range hypersonic weapon, that is missile. Clear? So first thing is, the new thing here is a very advanced missile system in which hypersonic weapon will target. You know what is the hypersonic? Greater than 5, and see the speed max 17, up to max 17. So this is very advanced long range hypersonic weapon. Second important thing you are supposed to know is two-stage ballistic missile. Is clear? So this line is most important, you can write. It features a two-stage ballistic missile equipped with a gliding hypersonic warhead capable of reaching up to a Mach speed of 17. Clear? Now rest all thing what I have said is, as per the claim, is much more advanced than already existing S-300, V-4, S-400 and S-500 air defense of Russia. Is clear? So the point is clear. So as this to be the most advanced in the world, so a little bit is expected in prelims. Now coming to the prelims question, again the same thing. They will not simply ask that what is Dark Eagle anti-missile system. In this multiple, they can ask you about India's system regarding S-400, and in this they can write that recently world's most advanced air defense system successfully tested flies with hypersonic speed more than 10 Mach. Understand this line. You can understand. When you will see this line, a little bit confused you will become when you will find that I have not read anywhere 10 Mach, but what is 17 Mach? More than 10 Mach, clear? So this is the approach you need to follow in reading the prelims multiple. Is clear? Now, an important development related to K4 SLBM test from INS Arighat. Now, a very important information, first coming to the information that was in the current information, that is K4 SLBM is tested from INS Arighat. First I am explaining to you what is K4, what is INS Arighat. Now, in a very simple, naval ships are the ships specially designed for defense technology. In a great advancement to naval ship design and building, ships are made underwater. Such ships are called as submarine. And like the conventional ships, submarines also powered by diesel, but in a great advancement to technology, submarines powered by nuclear was made. Following the same, India started a ATV project, Advanced Technical Vessel Project. In the project, what is the objective of this project? To develop submarines powered by nuclear. Work is started. Year 2016, India came in the select group of nations who successfully developed the nuclear powered submarines, named as INS Arihant. Second point, recently in 2024, India developed the second one, that is known as INS Arighat. Is clear? So what is INS Arighat? The second submarine powered by nuclear developed by India in 2024. What is the first one? INS Arihant by 2016. Now, next point. As submarines are the ships that sails underwater, so there arises the need of development of a new missile system. So regarding the same, they have developed a missile system known as SLBM, Submarine Launch Ballistic Missile. So as we started working for the development of submarines, DRDO also started working for SLBMs, and DRDO named this in honor of Dr. Kalam as K family of missile project. Under the project, 15 missile systems K1 to K15 work have started. Now, in this work, so far, 2 missile systems are complete. First one is K4, second one is K15. K4 is having the range of approx 3500 and K15 is having the range of 700 to 900 kilometer. Now, what the information in current is? Simple. So, what I have explained to you, SLBM, the K4 test from INS Arighat successfully have taken place. So, the point is clear. What is INS Arighat? The second nuclear powered submarine of India, and what the new current information is all about, that K4 missile is also tested with INS Arighat. Is clear? This can be asked in prelims. They can ask you the definition of SLBM. They can ask you about this Arighat. Is clear? Now, they can ask you regarding some of the important information, that is also the recent developments that we have discussed in our regular lectures. That is, in case of submarine powered by nuclear, we have also signed a deal, that is under a lease agreement. India received the Nerpa class, which is known as INS Chakra, and recently we have signed again a deal to extend the lease. So by 2025 India will receive a new Nerpa class. So it can be asked in this way also regarding some of the different submarines not developed by us, but we have taken from lease from Russia. Clear? So in this prelims multiple, they can ask you about some of the information that is related to nuclear powered submarines. Now next is Pantsir air defense system. Now a little bit important, this air defense system was in use. So Bharat Dynamics Limited signed a MOU with Russia's company for cooperation on Pantsir variants. Simple. So you are supposed to just know one thing, that work have started for this air defense system also. And what is this system? Just in one line you can write, is a mobile short range air defense system. Mobile means can be movable, short range air defense system equipped with both missile and gun capabilities. Clear? Now in this system, now understand one thing, an important concept that can be linked to prelims question. The word short range. Clear? You might have heard about Israel air defense system, that is Iron Dome. Is clear? Now Iron Dome is said to be world's most advanced. Just have in mind with just one word, why Israel Iron Dome is said to be world's most advanced? Because is a short range air defense system. Point number one. Point number two, in the sudden attack happened to Israel, now world have come to know that now such attack if happens somewhere, now it's time to get prepared with short ranges attack from air defense system. Following the same, now a new type of air defense system work have started in India as well, which is a short range. So this can be asked in this way, that PAD system is similar in its range to world's most advanced air defense system. Now understand one thing, they will not write Israel Iron Dome, they will write that PAD system is very similar to world's most advanced system. So it is up to you to think that they are talking about Israel air defense system in this prelims multiple. Is clear? Now, next is INS Samarthak. Okay. So is a indigenous multi-purpose vessel that is recently launched. Now, regarding this, there are just few points you are supposed to know. That is a highly specialized multi-role platform envisaged to be a trial platform for the development of next generation weapons. Clear? So, what the remarkable thing is, for the development of next generation weapons, this can be better utilized. Now, is one of the two multi-purpose vessel being indigenously built. So this point is also very important. That is also among the indigenous development. And you can recall the regular lectures we have discussed that how under the indigenous development for the first time in so remarkable, India have made INS Vikrant. Is clear? INS Vikrant, we have discussed that when PM commissioned by September 2022, in one of the remarkable development, it is declared that we have achieved 76% indigenization. Clear? So, this question is important in prelims on first line regarding indigenous, and on the similar lines in mains it can be asked regarding indigenous development. Is clear? So, regarding indigenization is very much important that in any of the mains question, if it will be asked about indigenous development, it is to be updated. Is clear? Now, so regarding any INS, I have said in regular lectures also that regarding any INS, you need to update if any such happens to be news. While you will update such news, some 2 or 3 things have to have in mind. First, which type of INS the news is talking about. Clear? Because you know there are 3 type of INS: corvette, frigate and destroyer. Second, what is the objective of this INS? And third, some miscellaneous development like indigenous and all. Is clear? Now, coming to the next very important information about Nobel Prize 2024 awarded in chemistry. Now, before this, understand some concept. In our topic of regular lectures of science and technology, we have discussed at a great length about AI. Clear? Now, you know, in the recent few years, AI related tools, much more are in use. Regarding the same, one of the AI tool called AlphaFold is clear, is developed. Now understand one thing. You know, protein is the building block of our body. Clear? Protein is the building block of our body. Now, in our body, there are millions of protein which is at work. So you can understand, in our medical science is very challenging to perform research on each and every protein, but according to our conventional research, we have come to know about many such protein, chain of amino acid and all, and our medical science research have developed over a period of time. But just think of it, if all such protein will be studied by some AI tool, then you can understand we can have idea of almost all proteins available in our body. What does this mean? That if we can have the idea of almost all the proteins available in our body, then our medical science disease diagnosis can be more and more enhanced. Clear? So, in simple, in 2 lines, you are supposed to know what this Nobel Prize is. Point number 1, this Nobel Prize is related to protein research. Protein research is already going in medical science. What the new thing is, as we are having millions of protein, so it's very challenging to work out in having the information regarding all such million protein. But scientists have developed an AI tool that is called as AlphaFold, which is worked out to perform research on proteins. So now read this line. Nobel Prize has been awarded for computational protein design. Understand this line. Computational protein design. Protein design happens in our body naturally. But now we have developed a tool by which we can compute. And when we can compute, we can have protein structure prediction, that if this type of amino acid chain, this type of protein get formed, and if we'll have much more information regarding our protein, we can work out more and more to understand about the diseases. Clear? So, next point. AI tool is used to solve a 50-year problem so remarkable that, as I have said, our medical science and research was struggling to come out with protein research, protein tool prediction. But a 50-year problem predicting protein complex structure, that is how proteins fold into shapes that give them their function. Understand this thing. How protein fold in our body and how it functions. A major problem in our scientific research is now resolved. How? By using AI tool. What is the name of this tool? AlphaFold. So write this line. AlphaFold is an AI model. Is an AI model by which prediction of structure of virtually all the 200 million proteins can be made from their amino acid sequence. Is clear? Now, in a more simple, again I am explaining what the significance of this award is. Very remarkable development, that is in more than 50 years of research we are working to know that how protein folds, how it functions. But in one of the remarkable development we have come to know that how protein works, point number 1. And second, with prediction, now we are able to understand about almost all type of protein in our body by AI tool called AlphaFold. Is clear? So this Nobel Prize is very much significant and also important for exam. Now, a very important development, but see, before explaining to this, I am explaining to you how this can be asked in question. This is very important topic in biotechnology, that is called as AMR, antimicrobial resistance. So first understand about this, that as you know, microbes, say bacteria, are responsible for diseases. Clear? We call in simple as bacterial infection diseases. Now, bacteria is having a tendency of multiplication. This tendency of multiplication of bacteria results in bacterial infection, that we call it as disease. Now, we have come to know regarding this as over a period of time there are several reasons. Say for example, first reason, as you know, weather climatic pattern also happens to be responsible in some cases of disease. So just take a case, if there is a similar type of weather climatic pattern, and in the region a similar type of bacterial infection happens. Clear? That results in disease. Second, more and more taking of medicine. So the medicine which is called as antibiotic. Antibiotic means chemicals, so called medicines designed to kill biotic factor, and biotic factor say bacteria. Clear? So in our medical science, antibiotics are developed to kill bacteria, that is to kill the biotic factor. Is clear? But what the challenge to the antibiotics? That over a period of time, microbes, say bacteria, develops resistance. While developing resistance, what happens? Whatever medicine will be taken, it will be ineffective. Clear? So a detailed study was made, and this is called as AMR, antimicrobial resistance. So in very simple, what is AMR? Over a period of time, microbes develop resistance to a particular type of disease. Clear? Now, in a very important development happened, that a disease very common in children's and elders is one of the type of pneumonia. Clear? So first thing what is important is the name of the disease, CABP, community acquired bacterial pneumonia. Is clear? Is one of the type of pneumonia, mainly affects the children and elders. Now, in this disease, a severe illness caused by drug resistant bacteria. Now, why CABP disease is so serious? Because this is a disease, a pneumonia caused by a bacteria. For bacteria we use antibiotic, but this bacteria is drug resistant. That is, whatever drug is taken, it will be ineffective against this bacteria. So recently, indigenously, one antibiotic is developed, and this antibiotic will work effectively towards this disease. Clear? So there are some factual information, name of the company, trade name. So this is not important for your exam. What the thing important for you is that you are supposed to know mainly that how is developed. So being developed with the support of BIRAC, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, under BIP, Biotechnology Industry Partnership Program. Clear? It has been brought to market under the trade name by pharma company, not very much important. What the important thing is, it has been designed against this disease, CABP, community acquired bacterial pneumonia. Clear? So 3-point information is important, name of the disease, and this disease is caused by drug resistant bacteria, and name of the antibiotic that is developed, that is nephithromycin, and what the thing important is, indigenously developed. Is clear? Now the last important information relating to biotechnology, a very important information, that is human gene therapy for hemophilia. Now understand, is a very important information and is also important for coming prelims. Now, before this, first understand what is gene therapy. In biotechnology, we have developed a technique by which we transfers a gene from one person to another. Point number one. Now, in this transfer from one person to another, we uses a very specific, unique type of cells in our body. That cells are called as stem cells. So stem cells are undifferentiated cells that is having properties of conversion. Simple. So just in one word, what is a stem cell? Properties of conversion. Clear? So just take a case. First simple. And since placenta to older age, stem cells are present in our body, but as our body takes the structure after development of organ system, so since then its potency get decreased, because what is the objective of stem cell? Conversion, but its potency get decreased. But a very remarkable thing with this cell, that this cell is having properties of conversion. Clear? So first, in very simple, in gene therapy, a gene is transferred, point number 1, transferred where? To stem cells. Clear? Now, in one of the disease related to blood, hemophilia, in which issues comes in blood clotting. So now, in this gene therapy, a vector virus is used. Point number 1, try to understand. A virus vector is used by which is performed, that is a transfer. So read this one. Department of Biotechnology along with Center for Stem Cell Research develops first human gene therapy for hemophilia A. Second, in this gene therapy, lentiviral vector is used. Clear? So this vector is used. Just now recall why I have said regarding gene therapy is a transfer. So this vector virus will transfer a normal copy of factor 8 gene into autologous HSC. HSC are hematopoietic stem cells. Clear? Now, this stem cell is very much important. Read this line. What is lentiviral vectors? Simple, are the type of viral vector that is used for transfer. So very simple, try to understand. A virus is taken, gene is induced, and this is transferred where? To HSC, hematopoietic stem cells. Why? Because this is a stem cell that can convert in any type of blood cells. So just take a case. See, HSC are multipotent primitive cells that can develop into all type of blood cells. So just think of it. All type of blood cell means after this gene therapy, all type of blood cells can be developed, so it can work towards this disease. Clear? Now, about gene therapy we have discussed is a technique that uses a gene to treat, prevent or cure a disease or medical disorder. It works by replacing faulty gene, deactivating harmful ones, introducing new genes to improve or restore health. It uses products, methods such as plasmid DNA, genetically engineered, human gene editing, etc. Now, important information that we used to discuss in regular lectures, types of gene therapy. There are two, germline and somatic cells. Now, germline gene therapy are used even in transfer of genes to embryo, but somatic cells are the cells other than reproductive cells. Clear? So, somatic cell nuclear transfer is also one of the technique of gene therapy. Clear? So, very simple, germline gene therapy are modified by introduction of functional genes. Somatic cell gene therapy, therapeutic genes are transferred to patient somatic cell, that is cell other than the reproductive cells. Clear? Now, application, both inherited genetic diseases, sickle cell disease, acquired disorders, leukemia could be treated. About the disease, as I have said, is a rare condition that affects the blood ability to clot. Clear? Now, why this approval? First human gene therapy approval is important because see, India bears the world's second largest burden of hemophilia. Is clear? That is why this is significant as we can work towards this disease. Clear? So now, this can be asked in questions to prelims in this way. In biotechnology, there are so many facts, so many definitions, so many concepts that they can ask here. They can ask here about what is a stem cell, what is gene therapy, clear, what is this disease, and in addition to this, in our regular biotechnology session, we have discussed various issues related to gene therapy. One of the modern technique under gene editing is CRISPR-Cas9 technology, that is cluster regularly interspaced palindromic repeats enzyme, Cas9 enzyme, which is used to even edit the genes. Is clear? So, what the thing more important is that gene therapy is transfer, and we have reached even in biotechnology to edit the genes. Clear? So, working on gene is the biotechnological method to treat the diseases, and treatment of various diseases by gene therapy, time and again there comes the approval, and such approval, such thing when happens to be in news have to be updated. So, the point is clear. So, this is about the entire compilation of current affairs from October to December. Likewise, in the next session we will be coming for other compilation, but what the thing again I am repeating, the most important to you is that to our regular science and technology lectures, along with the class lecture and class notes, only you are supposed to update your notes with newspaper. No need to study any material or anything else, only have to follow the class notes followed by one newspaper. There is no alternative of reading the newspaper in present UPSC pattern, because with many such discussion I have made it clear that how to approach in the newspaper reading. Now, while reading the newspaper, have to have very clear while reading that how to approach in the newspaper. That is, when you find a 1 page or half page information in newspaper, don't have to do two things. First, not to make note, and second, not to have the cutting of newspaper, because doing so the thing will not updated in your mind. Only you have to develop one skill, that this is the information according to class discussion which all thing can be asked in prelims. Just take a case. SPADAX mission have come. I have just said 2 to 3 line to be written in your class note. One is separation, second is significance, third is a very common thing, that poem is already tested. This is also tested recently. Clear? So, have to develop this skill, and if you will update your class notes according to the discussion we have made in the class lectures, you will not update your notes from the newspaper, but also have the memory in your mind. Okay? So, thank you.